Anyako said today, for the simple reason that she has no jurisdiction to try me. None whatsoever. I came out of courtesy and respect. She stands recused from my case and cannot try my case. There are things that are happening in this country that a lot of you do not know. It is my duty to make that very, very clear to all of you today, because the lies are too much.
Nigeria is burning, not with the clean, honest fire of a nation forging itself into something greater, but with the slow, suffocating smoke of a country being pulled apart by agitation in the southeast, by political pressure from every region, by economic pain that has ground ordinary citizens to dust, and now by a message so explosive, so terrifying in its implications, that it has stopped conversations in market squares, in church halls, in diaspora WhatsApp groups from Houston to Hamburg. The message is simple. The message is devastating. And the message, let us say this clearly from the very beginning, has not been officially confirmed. Release Nnamdi Kanu before the 30th, or we will attack. The name attached to that threat, Israel. Before the panic fully sets in, before the shares multiply into the millions and the fear takes on a life of its own, responsible journalism demands that we pause, read, and do what social media refuses to do. Examine the facts, trace the history, separate what is verified from what is viral, and ask the hard questions that the Nigerian government, the Nigerian people, and the international community all urgently need answered. Because whether this threat is real or manufactured, one thing is beyond dispute. Nigeria is in crisis, and Nnamdi Kanu sits at the center of it. To understand why a rumored Israeli ultimatum is being taken seriously by millions of Nigerians, why it is not being laughed off, not being dismissed with a wave of the hand, you must first understand who Nnamdi Kanu is, what he means to his people, and how we arrived at this extraordinary moment. Nnamdi Kanu is not simply a man. To tens of millions of people across the southeast of Nigeria and in the IPOB diaspora scattered across every continent on earth, he is a symbol, a voice, a movement, a belief that the dream of Biafra, the independent nation that bled and died between 1967 and 1970, taking more than 1 million lives with it, is not yet finished with history. Born in Eziama, Afaraku in Abia State, Kanu founded the indigenous people of Biafra, better known as IPOB, and built it from a fringe radio broadcast into one of the most talked about separatist movements on the African continent. His weapon was not a gun, it was a microphone. His platform was Radio Biafra, broadcasting from London, where he lived for years before returning to Nigeria. And his voice, passionate, provocative, incendiary, found millions of ears hungry for exactly what he was saying. He was first arrested by Nigerian authorities in 2015, detained for nearly 2 years, then released on bail in 2017 under conditions he would later be accused of violating. A military operation at his family compound in Afaraku in September 2017 sent him fleeing Nigeria once again. For years after that, he broadcast from undisclosed locations, eluding the Nigerian government while his movement continued to grow, continued to agitate, continued to keep the Southeast on a perpetual low boil of tension and sit-at-home compliance. Then in 2021, in circumstances that remain deeply controversial, Kanu was rearrested, renditioned, his lawyers say, from Kenya back to Nigeria in what amounted to an extraordinary abduction. The Department of State Services has held him since. On November 20, 2025, a federal high court in Abuja brought that chapter to a close, at least legally. Justice James Omotosho convicted Nnamdi Kanu on all 7 terrorism counts filed against him by the Nigerian government, sentencing him to life imprisonment. The judge ordered his transfer from Abuja to a correctional facility in Sokoto State, deep in the northwest of Nigeria, hundreds of miles from the southeast, and banned him from accessing mobile devices or broadcast equipment. The symbolism of Sokoto was not lost on anyone. It felt like a message, and the southeast received it as exactly that. The conviction did not bring calm, it brought fury. Protests erupted almost immediately across the southeast, with demonstrators flooding the streets of Aba, surrounding the sprawling Arioria International Market, one of the largest in West Africa, carrying banners, chanting slogans, and demanding in voices hoarse with emotion that Kanu be released. Homoyel Sowore, the veteran human rights activist and former presidential candidate, traveled to Aba to stand physically with the protesters. Standing before the crowd, he declared with unmistakable force, "Mazi Nnamdi Kanu must spend Easter with us. He has suffered enough." The crowd erupted. But it was not just activists and street protesters raising their voices. The pressure was coming from the most unlikely places. At the 2026 National Traditional and Religious Leaders Summit on Health in Abuja, an event attended by President Tinubu himself, a respected traditional ruler from Enugu State, broke from the expected diplomatic decorum and spoke with raw, unfiltered urgency. He warned the president directly. Kanu's continued imprisonment is not just a legal matter anymore. It is a security matter. It is tearing apart the social fabric of the Southeast, radicalizing the youth, and making traditional rulers, the very people the government relies on to maintain community peace, look like collaborators in the eyes of an increasingly angry population. They see us as sellouts, the monarch told the president, his voice heavy with a grief that no protocol could contain. Our young people no longer respect us because they believe we have chosen the government over our own blood. That is the temperature of the Southeast right now, not warm, not simmering, approaching boiling, and into this furnace, someone dropped a match. The message began appearing on social media platforms, WhatsApp, Facebook, X, TikTok, with the kind of velocity that only truly alarming content achieves. The claim, spreading in various versions across dozens of accounts, states that the State of Israel has issued a formal ultimatum to the Nigerian government. Release Nnamdi Kanu before the 30th of this month or face military or diplomatic consequences. Some versions of the message are vague about the nature of the threatened action. Others are terrifyingly specific, claiming Israeli special forces, citing intelligence networks, invoking the Mossad. All of them carry the weight of a name that commands instant attention in security circles anywhere in the world. Israel, a nuclear-armed state, one of the most battle-hardened military forces on the planet, a nation with a documented history of conducting operations, targeted, precise, utterly without apology, wherever in the world it determines its interests or its people are threatened. If Israel actually said this, the implications would be beyond anything Nigerian foreign policy has faced in living memory. It would represent a direct challenge to Nigeria's sovereignty. It would signal that the Kanu case has transcended the borders of Nigerian domestic law and entered the dangerous arena of international security. It would shake the Tinubu administration to its foundations. But did Israel actually say this? As of the time of this report, no credible evidence exists to confirm it. No official statement from the Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs. No press briefing from the Israeli embassy in Abuja. No verified communication from any arm of the Israeli government. What exists is a viral message, spreading faster than fact-checkers can chase it, in a country where tension has made millions of people ready to believe the worst. Here is the uncomfortable truth. The reason this rumor is spreading is not because Nigerians are gullible. It is because there is a real and documented history that gives it plausibility. Nnamdi Kanu has long maintained that the Igbo people are among the lost tribes of Israel. This is not a peripheral belief in his movement. It is central to IPOB's identity and theology. In 2018, after escaping Nigeria following the military raid on his compound, Kanu gave a broadcast in which he claimed he was in Israel, that the Jewish state had helped protect him, and that he owed his survival to an Israeli intervention. He invoked the Mossad by name. This spiritual and ideological connection between IPOB and Israel runs deep. Many IPOB members genuinely believe Israel has a stake in Kanu's freedom. Many display Israeli flags at rallies. Many see the Star of David as their symbol alongside the rising sun of Biafra. For this community, an Israeli ultimatum demanding Kanu's release would not be surprising. It would feel like prophecy being fulfilled. But feeling is not fact, and this is where the story gets complicated. This is not the first time a viral ultimatum surrounding Nnamdi Kanu has swept through Nigerian social media. Earlier this year, a widely shared message claimed that the United Nations had issued a 60-day ultimatum to Nigeria, threatening sanctions if Kanu was not released. That claim was traced by fact-checkers to a 2022 opinion by the UN Working Group on Arbitrary Detention, a non-binding recommendation that carries no enforcement mechanism and no deadline whatsoever. There was no ultimatum. There were no sanctions. The claim was false. But it spread to millions of Nigerians before the correction caught up. The current Israel threat carries all the hallmarks of that same pattern. Explosive headline, emotional trigger, no verifiable source, designed, whether deliberately or not, to inflame an already volatile situation. Let us be direct about something that Nigerian media, Nigerian government officials, and Nigerian civil society all need to grapple with urgently. Misinformation in a tense country is not merely annoying, it is dangerous. Nigeria is not in a stable moment. The Southeast has been under the shadow of sit-at-home orders, security operations, and community grief for years. Young men are angry. Traditional authority is weakened. Trust in government institutions is near historic lows. And an election season is approaching that will test every fault line this complex, plural nation has ever developed. In that environment, a rumor does not need to be true to cause harm. A false report of an Israeli ultimatum can trigger panic buying. It can spark communal tension. It can embolden those already inclined toward violence. It can be used as propaganda by those who want to escalate. And there are always those who want to escalate. The Nigerian government has not, as of this writing, issued any official response to the viral claim. That silence, whatever its cause, is feeding speculation on all sides. If the claim is false, officials need to say so loudly, clearly, and immediately. If the claim has any dimension of truth, any diplomatic communication, any signal from Jerusalem that Nigerian authorities have received, then the Nigerian people deserve to know what their government is dealing with. Silence in this moment is not neutrality, it is fuel. Beyond the rumor, beyond the viral posts, beyond the fear, there is a real and urgent question that the Nigerian state can no longer defer. What is the plan for Nnamdi Kanu? A life sentence handed down amid international scrutiny, with his lawyers already filing appeals with the Southeast in open protest, with traditional rulers pleading publicly for release, with foreign rights organizations watching. This is not a closed chapter. It is the beginning of a new and potentially more volatile one. Many Nigerians, including many who firmly oppose separatism, who believe in one Nigeria, who want nothing to do with Biafra, are asking whether keeping Kanu imprisoned serves the national interest. Whether the cost in Southeast alienation, in continued insecurity, in diplomatic attention and international noise is worth what is being gained. These are not treasonous questions. They are the questions of a nation serious about its own survival. So here we are. Africa's most populous nation. A country of extraordinary people, extraordinary resources, extraordinary resilience, facing an extraordinary moment. A man sits in a prison cell in Sokoto. His supporters fill the streets of Aba, Enugu, Onitsha. A viral message bearing the name of one of the world's most feared military powers is circulating among millions, and government that has said very little is hoping, perhaps, that the noise will die down on its own. It will not. So let us end where we must. Did Israel really issue this ultimatum, or is this a dangerous rumor, deliberately crafted and released into a fractured nation at the worst possible moment, designed to push Nigeria closer to the edge it has been walking for years? That is the question, and every Nigerian at home in the diaspora in uniform, in the corridors of power, in the pews and the mosques and the market squares, deserves an honest answer. Share this story, demand the truth, and refuse to be moved by fear before the facts are known. Before you close this page, before you move on to the next notification, the next headline, the next crisis, pause for just a moment. Pray for Nigeria. Pray for the mother in Aba, who sent her son to the market this morning and has been watching her phone ever since, hoping for a message that says he is safe. Pray for the soldier at a checkpoint in Enugu, who is just a young man trying to do his job in the middle of something far bigger than he was trained for. Pray for the Igbo father in the diaspora who loves his homeland fiercely and watches it bleed from thousands of miles away, helpless and heartbroken. Pray for the politicians in Abuja who have the power to make choices that could change lives, and who must, at some point, choose between political comfort and national healing. Pray for wisdom where there is confusion. Pray for truth where there is rumor. Pray for peace where there is anger. And pray for the kind of courage it takes, the rarest courage of all, for a nation to look honestly at its own wounds and decide, finally, to heal them. Nigeria has survived a civil war. It has survived military dictatorship, economic collapse, Boko Haram, and 100 other crises that looked, in the moment, unsurvivable. It can survive this too, but it will need God, it will need truth, and it will need every Nigerian, every single one, to choose the nation over the noise. We are praying for you, Nigeria. Don't give up. This is a developing story. The Israel ultimatum claim has not been confirmed by any official source. This publication urges all Nigerians to verify information before sharing and to reject the weaponization of fear in a time of national fragility.